Where's the stream? Somebody's phone is ringing. If you have a phone and it is not switched off, I mean, the vibrate mode, let me just check. nice and warm in here. And you all found the place. I don't know how you found the place. I know how I found the place. You want to take a look at the screen, or you want to have your back to the screen? You can see through the back of your head. Okay. This morning at the Naperville Temple, I spoke on the same topic, and I embellished things a bit since this morning. And I think this is a very nice presentation. You'll be a little surprised to learn much more about Lord Varaha than you knew before. And I'll give you a sneak preview, and then we'll go into details. According to Rupa Goswami, there are at least 5 appearances of Lord Varaha. And with the appearance that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested his Varaha form in the house of Marigupta, it makes 6, and maybe more. And that's Rupa Goswami's writings. And then further that's Sanatana Goswami's writings, Brihat Bhagavatamrita. In Rupa Goswami's Laghu Bhagavatamrita, he focuses on 2, but we'll hear something about all of them. So it's just the narration. I'll just keep it simple right now and say, according to Rupa Goswami in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, the narration that we find in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Maitreya is speaking to Vidura in response to avatars, and specifically even about Varaha, he combines 2 and doesn't even tell anybody that he's combining 2. That's the synopsis of this evening class. So here's one of the 5, or one of the 2. This is Lord Varaha, who is rescuing the earth. Note, there's no Hiranyaksha in the painting. And the reason for that is, one of the Varaha appearances is not to kill Hiranyaksha. It's the Sweta Varaha as opposed to the Rakta Varaha. And here's Prabhupada. It's the Bhagavatam verses. If, this is not purport, this is verse. If, with an attitude of devotional service, one hears and describes this auspicious narration of Lord Bora's pastimes, which are worthy of description, the Lord, who is within the heart of everyone, is very pleased. So know for sure you're going to be pleasing the Lord of the heart just by sitting here. And I'm going to try to do my best to do the narrating part. Nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality Godhead is pleased with someone by transcendental achievement. One understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in the transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord himself, who is seated in everyone's heart. So again, there's a painting. Lord Varaha with his tusks is lifting the earth. And now comes Brihat Bhagavatamrita. These are 2 main sources that I drew upon to prepare for this evening discussion or speak about Lord Varaha. There are at least 5 Lord Varahas. The first appeared from Brahma's nostril at the beginning of creation, lifted the earth, deposited her on the Garbha ocean, and then disappeared. The second saved the earth from a partial flood of devastation, killed Hiranyaksha, and went to Swargaloka. The third, the embodiment of Vedic sacrifice, taught the methods of sacrifice, lifted the earth, spoke to her in Varaha Purana, and disappeared by its mystic power. Varaha Purana, a third. The fourth took the earth and made her even by grinding down the excessively large mountains with his sharp tusks. The earth then assumed the form of his consort Varahi, enjoyed with him, and gave birth to 2 sons. You ever wonder how that happened? Here's how it happened. Narakasura or Bhaumasura. How did that happen? Here's how it happened. It doesn't give detail, but it's just the fourth category. That Lord Varaha finally disappeared by merging into the form of Lord Nrsimha. And yet a fifth, Varaha Deva, perpetually holds up the earth from below. We're going to hear a little bit about each one of these 5. Now, just refer back to number 5 or number 4, or number 3, like that. So, let's go forward. Here's from Chaitanya Bhagavat, this number 6. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested in the house of Murari Gupta this form of Varaha. You know the story? He was Murari Gupta was a dear devotee, a physician by profession, dearly devoted to Lord Ramachandra, etc., etc., etc. And their homes, the house of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nimai Pandit was very close to the home of Murari Gupta, just back a little bit, not very far away. And so they regularly had association, and Murari Gupta was very devoted to Lord Chaitanya, and he was very devoted to Lord Ramachandra. Lord Chaitanya, on one occasion, he said, Murari, why are you chanting Ram's name? Just chant Krishna's name. So he went home and tried to do what he said, but he couldn't do it. He came back the next morning crying. I can't do it. Please give me a different instruction. Please ask me to always chant the name of Ram. Lord Chaitanya embraced him and gave him that instruction. He was very happy. So one time he was visiting his home, and all of a sudden, spontaneous ecstasy awakened, and he awakened the mood of Varaha. There was a pot, as you see, a clay pot, and he picked up the clay pot in his form of Varaha and lifted it up in the air and made a Varaha sound. I can't imitate it, sorry. Really big form, and Murari Gupta was astonished. Who can imagine what Murari Gupta felt after he saw what he saw? So that's 6, at least. Now, the first of those 5 listed in Brihat Bhagavatamrita is going to be described next. From Laghu Bhagavatamrita, the boar avatar advented twice, first during Swayambhuva Manu, from the nostril of Brahma, in order to lift up the earth, and a second time during Chakshusha Manvantar, appearing from the water, parentheses, and killed Hiranyaksha. So I'm going to go slowly because it's new information, it's new description, so it's easy to get confused. So I'll go slowly. And if you start feeling confused, indicate something, scream, or wave your arms or something. Could you do that again, please? So there's Swayambhuva Manu and Chakshusha Manu. What's Manu number? In every day of Brahma, there's how many Manus? 14. And the first of the Manus out of the 14 is Swayambhuva Manu. We're in number 7, Vaivasvata Manu. Number 6, Chakshusha Manu. So in the very beginning, you'll hear some more. In the very beginning of a day of Brahma, it's Swayambhuva Manu's time. And in that Swayambhuva Manu's time, we'll hear some detail. But a form of Varaha appeared from the nostril of Lord, which exactly as we hear in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's drawn from that particular Varaha's appearance, because he sometimes appears other ways from other places. That's Swayambhuva Manu, and he rescued the earth. And the second of the two is Chakshusha Manu. And he didn't appear from the nostril of Brahma that time. He appeared from the water. And I mean, you can appear from a nostril of Brahma. You can appear from the water. Why not? And he rescued the earth. And he killed Hiranyaksha. Chakshusha Manu. He's like a lawyer building a case. Just, scriptural references. Commentary. Sometimes Varaha is a wild animal of the forest. And sometimes he's a domestic animal. We'll hear some further references. Sometimes he is dark as a rain cloud. And sometimes he is white as the moon. So dark as a rain cloud, that sounds like Shyamasundar, right? Dark as a rain cloud. But the language commonly is not dark as a rain cloud. It's rakta, but dark, as opposed to sweta or white. Okay, notice the number. This is 1.3, 10, and 11. A little bit later, it is mentioned in the Vishnu Damotara that by the will of the Lord, there was a sudden deluge during the reign of Chakshusha Manu. Varaha appeared at that time to lift up the earth which had been submerged and also killed Hiranyaksha. So you got to listen carefully, because he's going to make the argument that the one that killed Hiranyaksha couldn't have been the one from Swayambhuva Manu's period. Listen, you'll hear. And the reason why this sudden deluge during Chakshusha Manu happened was Lord willed it. It was irregular. The partial devastation situation is irregular. There's regular, and this was an irregular one. And the earth became submerged. Lord Varaha came, lifted up the earth, and killed Hiranyaksha. Next, several verses later from the same chapter, it is written that some avatars have abodes within the material universe. Some are in the Vaikuntha realm. Some are within the material universe. The words of Vishnu Damodara Purana are evidence for this. 1. Nribraha. He's the domestic boar. Remember? Some are wild and some are domestic. What's a domestic boar? Or a human form with a boar's head is said to reside on Maharloka. So where's Maharloka? Above Swargaloka. There's 7 upper, 7 lower. Bhuvar, Swargaloka. That's 3. Then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. That's 6. And Brahmaloka. So it's just above the heavenly realms. Maharloka. Nri Varaha resides there. 2. The beautiful and self-effulgent realm of Varaha Loka touches the material universe as it, that's the material universe, stands beneath everything. That's so there's a Varaha at the bottom of the universe. Where? Below the 7th Patala Loka and the planet known as Kalagni Rudra. So where the Rudras go, there's different names. Mahakalapur sometimes is the name. Rudras, remember, they're sent to the bottom of the universe. And Brahma says the time will come you can help the process of destruction of the universe, but go down there and be peaceful for a while. We'll call upon you. You have some service to do later. So where the Rudras go is Kala, means time. Agni means fire. It's the time for destruction. That's where they go. Kalagni Rudra. There's a 4-legged Varaha. There, in the form of Sweta Varaha, the Supreme Lord resides. If you remember, one of the 5 was at the bottom of the universe. Remember that one? So that's what this is describing. And in Brihat Bhagavatamrita, when Gopakumar is traveling up, past Brahmaloka through the coverings of the universe. You with me? Brihad Bhagavatamrita. He enters into the layer, the covering of the universe as the earth layer, and very specific. There is earth personified. Earth not the same, and it's in the lower planetary regions, but the original, the prototype from which the earth comes, Bhumi, and she's worshipping who? Varaha. It's right in the Brihad. So that's another residence within this material creation. And then there's beyond the material creation, there's spiritual sky. This is Brihat Bhagavatamrita much later. In Satya Yuga, that's meaning, during this, the first day of Brahma, where the Lord just manifests. One is he manifests from the nostril of Brahma, and another he just manifests in the water. But where he manifests in the water is he descending from this place. In Satya Yuga, Lord Varaha descended from the Shokara Puri. Shokara, just as in the Das Avatar Stotras, Shukara Rupa. Shukara means boar. So Shaukara Puri is the place in Vaikuntha where Lord Varaha resides. So he descends. So is there a place outside this universe that Lord Varaha resides? Yes, in a Vaikuntha planet. Just as you see, there's so many Vaikuntha planets in this nice painting. and beneath each one is a name of the forms of Narayana with the symbols of Vishnu in his hands. So one of them is the planet of Varaha. And from this Shaukara Puri he descends for such purposes as lifting the earth from the lower regions. So he resides sometimes within and sometimes outside. And further, another chapter altogether from Laghu Bhagavatamrita, just there, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Vidu. Each day of Brahma, there's 1,000 cycles of the 4 yugas, yes? No? Yes. Each day of Brahma, there's 1,000 cycles of the 4 yugas. So that's just Laghu Bhagavatamrita saying that. And each time there's a different day of Brahma. Each day of Brahma, there's 1,000 yuga cycles. So there's, when yuga cycles, different. And then there's another, that at night, what happens at night? What happens at the night of Brahma? It's right in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When he goes to sleep at night, there's a partial devastation. And he wakes up, time to do my sadhana. Hey, Varaha, help. And Varaha descends. Because there's a partial devastation. Right? The present kalpa is called Sweta Varaha Kalpa. So here's a detail. Each day of Brahma has 2 halves. Makes a whole. And each of the halves is called the Prarartha. And we're in the second Prarartha. Second half. Just the very beginning. Sweta Varaha Kalpa. Kalpa means day. So it's the second half of Brahma's day. It's like, it's 12:30. Maybe 12:15. Back to Laghu Bhagavatamrita, same chapter 3. The first day of the month is called Sweta Kalpa. The present Kalpa is the Varaha Kalpa, or Sweta Varaha Kalpa. The first day of the month in the second half of Brahma's life, just what I just said. And Baladev Vidyabhusan's commentary, the Sweta Kalpa or Sweta Varaha Kalpa, mentioned here, is also known Sweta Varaha Kalpa. Jiva Goswami in Tattva Sandarbha says the same thing. Sweta Varaha Kalpa is the day of Brahma in which Lord Vishnu's incarnation as a boar has a white body, Sweta Varaha. And from the Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 11, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's commentary, the first day in the first Prarartha is called Brahma Kalpa, or Sweta Varaha Kalpa. Sounds like it's a contradiction, but it's not, because it's the first day. Now we're going back. Notice the numbers. 1, 3, 16. At the beginning of Brahma's day, during Swayambhuva's reign, his 2 sons, Swayambhuva had sons. Uttanapada was one of those sons. You know Uttanapada, right? He was the father of Dhruva, right? So he was one of the 2 sons of Swayambhuva Manu. His 2 sons did not yet have offspring. When hears only of the birth of his sons and daughters. Thus, at that time, there were no Prachetas, no Daksha, no Diti. Swayambhuva had a son named Uttanapada. In his line, the Prachetas appeared. He's a lawyer building a case, so listen carefully. He had a daughter named Diti. Diti was married to Kashyapa and bore Hiranyaksha. Thus, since Hiranyaksha was born long after the Swayambhuva Manvantar, the first bore avatar who appeared during Swayambhuva's time could not have killed him because he wasn't born yet. Therefore, it should be understood that when the firstborn avatar appeared, he simply lifted the earth from the ocean. I don't see anybody screaming. It takes a while. It took. You want to hear it more? Yes, yes. The logic of his argument. He's taking scriptural reference, but from the scriptural reference, Hiranyaksha hadn't been born yet, and therefore it's not possible that Lord Varaha killed Hiranyaksha because he hadn't been born yet. So the first appearance was not the same one as the one who killed Hiranyaksha. The one who killed Hiranyaksha took place at another time. We're going to hear the other time. But he's differentiating. And where this train is going, he's going to say, when Maitreya was speaking to Vidura, he didn't differentiate. Oh, you want to hear about Varaha? There's two of them. There's this one. He appeared from the nostril of Brahma. And oh, by the way, there's another one, and he killed Hiranyaksha. He didn't differentiate. And it's only 18,000 verses. You can't do everything. This is the conclusion of Rupa Goswami, but based upon Shastra. Okay, carrying on. Now this is just after the above reference. It is mentioned in the Matsya Purana that there was a pralaya during Swayambhuva's reign because of a curse of Agastya Rishi upon Swayambhuva. The curse was the earth is going to get submerged. Now, Swayambhuva Manu is one of the 12 Mahajans. He's way up there. And, Agastya Muni, okay, he's a Brahmana. But why is a Brahmana cursing Swayambhuva Manu? And why is Swayambhuva Manu just turning around and say, I'm sorry, Charlie, but no curses on my reign? It's the Lord's plan. And so there was a partial devastation based upon a curse of, doesn't say the detail from Matsya Purana, what the exchange was, that what prompted him to curse, etc. It just says he cursed that you're going to have a problem during your reign as Manu. The partial devastation, a pralaya, is going to take place. In an irregular pralaya, a big flood, it's going to flood half the universe. And that's what happened. And when that happened, this is when the Swayambhuva Manu avatar Varaha appeared. And so here's some nice paintings. This is a painting of Sveta Varaha. He's whitish in color, and he's lifting the earth on his tusks. He's got a dark shaped head. So some of the descriptions are a human-like form with a boar head. So that may be this one also. And they're not all white. These are just some paintings, very nice paintings. to illustrate he's not killing Hiranyaksha. It's still Swayambhuva Manu, and he's lifting the earth from the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean. And another, and a nice BBT painting. He's reddish, lifting the earth. Another BBT painting, lifting the earth. Demigods celebrating his success in protecting the earth, and so forth. Now we're going to go to, on that list of 5, it's number 2. And in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, he deals with just 2, because Sanatana Goswami is saying 5. Rupa Goswami is focusing on 2 of the 5, and making mention of others also. So, carrying on, it is mentioned in the Vishnu Dharmottara that by the will of the Lord, there was a sudden deluge during the reign of Chakshusha Manu. The one during the Swayambhuva Manu was Agastya's curse. During Chakshusha Manu was the Lord's will. And so the earth, partial devastation, irregular, everything's flooded. Time for Lord Varaha to appear. Chakshusha Manu. He appeared at that time to lift the earth which had become submerged, and also killed Hiranyaksha. And 2 verses earlier, we thus conclude that Sri Varaha enacts his pastimes at 2 different times, and that Maitreya combined the incidents from both of the histories in his answer to Vidura's questions. I rest my case. Rupa Goswami. And he doesn't exactly rest his case. This is a further reference from Canto 6, Srimad Bhagavatam. In Canto 6, Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear about the sons of Diti, who were she was one of the 13 wives of Kashyapa, and the 13 wives of Kashyapa were 13 of the 60 daughters of Daksha. Daksha was good at producing offspring. Prajapati Daksha begot 60 daughters who got married, and have many offspring. Thus, the universe becomes filled with various kinds of living entities: humans, demigods, demons, beasts, birds, and serpents. So each of them are holding kind of this shield, or an indication of the species that they gave birth to. Fathered by Kashyapa, and they gave birth to, the goal was to fill up the universe with varieties. And that's Canto 6 version. Of the 13 wives, Aditi was one. Aditi gave birth to the demigods, and Diti gave birth to the Daityas. The Daityas doesn't necessarily mean demon. Daitya means sons of Diti. And some of them were demons, and one of them was Hiranyaksha. So when did that happen? According to the 4th Canto Bhagavatam, this occurred during the Chakshusha Manvantar. And it was when Hiranyaksha did his mischief, and the earth fell out of its orbit, etc. And Lord Varaha came, and he dealt with Hiranyaksha, in addition to saving the earth, which is narrated in the Bhagavatam. And there's many nice paintings. And it's got a dual function, dealing with Hiranyaksha and lifting the earth. And Hiranyaksha is depicted differently in each one of these. So is the earth depicted a little differently in each one of these. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Um, my understanding is sometimes and sometimes. Not always the same. Interesting. Those are the demons on the bottom and some demigods on the top. And there's Lord Varaha to the rescue. And those guys that are moving over to the left, that's sometimes in certain art period, those are mystical beings that have mystical powers, and they're depicted that way. The demons are depicted like those guys in the lower right. There's Varaha getting clobbered by the club, Gada, of Lord Varaha. And we're going to hear a little bit about this too. There's nobody getting bonked in the head while he's lifting the earth. And kind of recent, at one of the Tagore family, 1880, not so terribly long ago. Same, lifting the earth, killing Hiranyaksha. So that's our Chakshusha Manu, Lord Varaha. And this is a carving. There's Hiranyaksha getting squished using his feet. And we'll hear some more about different versions of how he was killed. So nice paintings and some carvings also. Some of you may know about the Varaha Purana. We heard about that. Varaha Purana is one of the 5, right? And in Varaha Purana, that's where he gave instructions to Mother Earth. She assumed a form Varahi, and they combined together and produced 2 sons. At least one of those 2 sons was Bhaumasura, the son of Bhumi. Bhoma, who became an Asura by bad association. So this is what, from this Varaha Purana, it's called their Varaha Charama Sloka. I had to look it up. Charama means highest teachings. This phrase Charma Sloka is very popular with Sri Vaishnavas. We'll see the Charma Sloka from Ramayana in a moment. That's the next slide. But this is the Charma Sloka, or the essential and highest teaching of Lord Varaha. So is Lord Varaha speaking. He's speaking to Bhumi. When a person whose mind is sound, body is in good health, and all mental and physical faculties working perfectly, when that person thinks that I, Lord Varaha, am indeed the very cause of this universe, that I am without birth, then I assure you, O Devi, that I will remember this devotee of mine when he or she is on his or her deathbed, lying helplessly like a stone or a log of wood. And I personally take him or her to the supreme abode. Charma Shloka from Varaha Purana. Here's the Charma Shloka. Maybe some of you know this one. Charma Shloka from Ramayana. The scene is Vibhishan has defected from the camp of Ravana after trying 3 times to persuade him to give Sita back. And Ravana says, if you weren't my brother, I'd kill you. So he just left. By mystic power, he just rose in the air with his 4 ministers and went. I mean, Hanuman had to leap, and he just zoomed to where Ramachandra was with all the Vanaras, and he's hovering in the air, and he spoke to Sugriva, carry the message to Ram. I want to surrender to him, become his devotee. Ask how he responds. He wasn't asking for diksha, he was just asking to become his devotee. And there's this big hubbub, and some don't trust him, and this and that and the other thing. Sugriva particularly didn't trust him. And then Hanuman spoke and said, I know you've already accepted him because it's your nature. And Lord Ramachandra confirmed and spoke this verse. It is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. Now, some of you know that this verse caused a schism in Sri Vaishnavism. Did you know that? There's this term and that term in Sanskrit, and it's commonly called the Northern Division, Southern Division, and some say just one time, and some others say ongoing. The one time means, they say, it implies ongoing, and the others say no. It must be an ongoing submission. Once upon a time, I surrendered, and Haribol. It's ongoing. And then they would say, no, because that's not fully surrendering, seriously surrendering. Anyway, so they had a big, dispute, and they broke, and it's still broken over this verse. Okay, now next, there's some music, and I hope I can get the music to play. Yeah, it should work. Okay, this is a ashtakam, means 8 prayers. So it takes about 5 minutes. Be patient, but it's very pleasant sounding and meaningful. From Varaha Purana.
Shri Varaha Puranantarbhata Shri Varaha Charama Shlokam.
So what we saw was 1, and this is all 8.
Sthite manati suspaste Sharire satiyo naraha Dhatu samye sthite smarta Vishvarupam cha mamajam Tatastam riyamanam tu Dhashtapashana sannipam Aham smarami matbhaktam Nayami paramam gatim.
I got mixed up. Tomorrow we're going to have an ashtakam. This is just that one verse that you saw being sung very nicely by Soda Kumar Das. Some of you probably have been, and all of you probably know about Tirupati. And as you go up the hill to Tirupati, one of the temples that you'll see before you get to the very top, Venkateshwar, you'll see the Adi Varahaswamy temple on the hill, the Tirumala. According to Brahma Purana, offerings before they go to the Venkateshwara deity, they're offered here. They should be offered first to Varaha Swami. Pilgrims should visit Adi Varaha Swami temple prior to going to the Venkateshwara temple. Originally, the whole hill was known as Adi Varaha Kshetra. So there's a photograph of the deity and a little bit from our Canto 3 narration, the part that we're more familiar with and everything else that we did so far. There's a very nice painting of Maitreya speaking to Vidura. It's in the North Country, and he's asking many questions, and one of the many questions is this whole narration about the 13 wives of Kashyapa, and one of the wives of Kashyapa was Diti, and Diti, a little jealous of her sister Aditi, wanted children, but she approached Kashyapa at the wrong time. And he said, very well, but the children that were born of you will be demons. And she wasn't very happy with that, but that was the deal. And in this connection, the whole story of who the first two, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, were as the result of the curse of Giant Vijay, where the four Kumaras were prohibited from entering Vaikuntha, the seventh gate, and one of the Kumara brothers giving him the sauce. Look at his body language. You don't belong in Vaikuntha. You should go to the earthly realm. We curse you. So they took the option of 3 births because they would get back more quickly, etc. And the first of them, Hiranyaksha, the elder brother, and Hiranyakashipu, the younger brother. So here's a nice painting. They look a little different, but it's the same painting. There's Hiranyaksha and the demon palace. And then there's Hiranyaksha, looks a lot different. Besides his color. He doesn't have the same nice striped short pants on. He's going to do his thing. And when he goes to do his thing, Lord Varaha comes and deals with him. And here's another nice graphic from Nepal, made in gold, and it's a depiction of Lord Varaha dealing with Hiranyakashipu or Hiranyaksha. So according to Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, the first demon that Hiranyaksha appeared, the first demon, Hiranyaksha, appeared of the demons that were cursed, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. So I'm just reading now, cut and paste from the purport, Bhaktivedanta Swami BBT purport. Hiranyaksha was killed by being pierced by the Lord's tusk. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the demon Hiranyaksha was killed by the hand of the Lord. Therefore, his version is that after being killed by the hand of the Lord, the demon was pierced by the tusk. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms this version. So one was he was hit by the tusk, and the other was he's struck by the forefoot of the Lord, which is Canto 3. So foot and hand, take your pick. You know, what's the hand of a boar? Is it hoof? So forefoot, his hand, and then pierced. So different versions. It's quite okay. There's different yoga cycles and different days of Brahma, and it's quite okay. Here's some other paintings. Here's another one. You got bonks in the head with his club. Here's another. He's getting chopped by Shudasan Chakra. And this is Vrindavan Das, a ISKCON artist, and he's trampling on him with his foot. It looks like a serpent. In any case, same here with his foot. According to Brihat Bhagavatamrita, when Gopakumar is traveling in Mathura, he comes to Vishramghat. And Vishramghat is a place where many things, where Krishna took rest after different killing of demons and so forth. It's a place where Lord Varaha came and rested on the shore of the river Jamuna after killing Hiranyaksha. We're almost done. Isn't it good? Some more art. The resolution of this is not so good. There's a fantastic art book. Did I forward it to you? Yeah. So there was an art exhibit in Radhadesh, and different artists came and were present, and they made a book out of the artwork that was present, and it's really fantastic. I didn't get a copy of the book, but somebody sent me a PDF. Viryavan sent me a PDF. You know Viryavan? He's one of the artists that's in the book. Lives in Poland. Some of his art is in the book. He attended the event. Prahlad Singh attended the event, but his artwork isn't in the book. But it was a big event. It was very expensive artwork of production, and the PDF apparently doesn't have the same resolution, but it's nice. That's where these ones came from. And here's a Tibet carving. Here's, I don't know where this place is. Does anybody know where that place is? Where is that? In India. Okay. And here's a South Indian painting. This is all from that art book. So that's it. Now, I don't know what you did for the morning class, but this is a little different. This is the bigger picture of who is Lord Varaha anyways. There's variegated. In the commentaries that I read, it's quite common where one avatar, Leela avatar, appears more than once in one of the yuga cycles. So this Manu and that Manu, same avatar, this appearance, that appearance. So there's diversity. The Bhagavatam doesn't go into that so much, but there's other scriptural references, Vishnu, Dhammotama, Purana, Matsya Purana, this thing, that thing. So it indicates there's some diversity. And that's what our acharyas sometimes do. They gather, they must have vast library and a really good memory, and they stitch it all together and give us the big picture. So that's what I tried to do. Compliments of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the bigger picture. Different residential places, from where the Lord appears and where he goes afterwards. Sometimes he just vanishes. That's all it says. Just discussion. Yes.
Two questions. One is the deity of Jia Nrsimha. There's a mention of one of the Varaha avatars merged into Lord Nrsimha.
Doesn't say which one though.
And then that deity that is in Vishakhapatnam is a combination of Nrsimha and
Varaha.
And there's some mention too that when Prahlad was dropped from the cliff, then a form of Lord Varaha came, but it's that combined form. One Nrsimha and one Varaha, no Varaha. I wonder if that's
The Jihad Nishinga I've heard. I probably should present that in this little presentation because it's makes the picture fuller. But the second part of what you said, I've not heard before. I'm not saying it's not written somewhere, but I've not heard it before.
And the other one is very fascinating, and because say Krishna says that he appears once in a day of Brahman, and then usually we have, just as you say, that in this situation we have this avatar that appears 5 times throughout the day of Brahman.
Not just the day Brahma, even different yuga cycles,
Different yuga cycles.
because there's 1,000 yuga cycles in each day of Brahma.
Yes. So within one day of Brahma, it can appear as many times. But is the only one, is this Varaha, these other avatars that appear multiple times?
Yes.
during that?
Yes. I mean, I'm saying that very quickly because our acharyas say that. They give lists of for this one, that one, that one, the other one. They also appear more than one time. They at least in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, which the focus of Laghu Bhagavatamrita is one topic, avatars. And he gives lists, he doesn't give details, just give lists of the Leela avatars, which ones appear more than once during a day of Brahma or Kalpa. Not life of Brahma, but day of Brahma. Hare Krishna, I can hear you. Go ahead. Do your thing. Speak it. Use the microphone. I can hear you. Speak. I can't hear if you don't speak.
So in the same Bhagavatamrita, Prabhu Goswami mentions that Ram appeared in different cycle, 28, some other cycle, and the combination of multiple questions. Here also like the Chakshusha Manvantara.
Yeah, do one at a time. One question at a time.
So when Lord appear as Ramchandra in a different cycle as per Bhagavatamrita.
Yes, correct.
Now we are in a different cycle.
Yes.
So when Bhagavatam lists out when they go in a series of the kings and dynasties, are those dynasties spread over different yuga cycles? And
It depends. Sometimes and sometimes not. It depends.
Still confused about.
Oh no. Let's do this. Let's just take one at a time. Ramachandra. When did Ramachandra appear? Which yuga cycle? 24th, right? 24th yuga cycle. And this is 27, right? So that's at several yuga cycles ago. And it was during a certain yuga. Which one? Dwarpa Yuga, right? Yep. Treta Yuga. So he appeared in Treta Yuga, and he came in the Ikshvaku dynasty. Now, who was Ikshvaku? Ikshvaku was the son of Manu. Well, which Manu? Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu, right? The sun god, Vivaswan. Vaivasvata Manu had a son. The sun god had a son. So it doesn't correlate. What you read and I read in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, the 24th Yuga cycle. How does it work? You left scratching your head, right? That's what the question is. Because that's a different Yuga cycle altogether, 3 Yuga cycles ago. But it's the same, and it's the son of Vivaswan and Vaivasvata Manu, who is the son of Vivaswan. Excuse me, the other way around. Vivaswan was the son of Vivaswata Manu, and Ikshvaku was his son. And he sent Ikshvaku to the earthly realm because Vivaswata Manu created this abode. I mean, it's an eternal abode, but he made it and sent his son to go rule there. So there's a dynasty, Surya dynasty, on earth. And it's a different yuga cycle, which is your point. So how do we put all that together? Rather than like all of them, just take one of them.
Sometimes I feel like this is the worst Kali Yuga than the before Kali Yugas.
They weren't so bad.
You read the like same when Parshurama appeared, he was in Kali Yuga. When he killed Kartaviri Arjun, it looks like okay, Lord was there and so many things were peaceful. This looks like a lot of technology here.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
Just one more question.
But he's, compared to Kartavir Arjun, he's a pea. Go ahead.
Another one is like you mentioned in the Chakshusha Manvantara, like Hiranyakashipu were born.
Yes.
So Hiranyakashipu was ruling for several yugas before Narasimhadeva appeared.
Why do you say that?
Hiranyaksha is older brother than Hiranyakashipu is older than Hiranyaksha. He was killed on Chakshusha. Now we are in current Manvantara, the next one.
Yes.
So Narasimhadeva appear in the current one. And
I'm not sure. One might assume that, but I'm not sure.
what does Rupa Goswami? I'm not sure.
I'd have to research it. I don't have a didactic memory, unfortunately. It's probably there somewhere, but I'd have to look it up. So don't assume. Don't get bewildered by an assumption that doesn't have any basis. Go to the authority, and based on it's like Prabhupada, just hearing Prabhupada in recording saying it this morning. Before you were born, you don't know who your father was because he existed before you were born. So how are you going to know the answer to these questions? You have to go to the authority. And if your mother isn't going to tell you the truth, you'll never know. But if she tells you the truth, then you know, because you can't know otherwise. So, same. The answer to your question, we have to go to the authority.
Every time there are different demons coming as Hiranyaksha than the doorkeepers in Vaikuntha.
Then those people in Vaikuntha, there's no demons Vaikuntha.
No, then the doorkeepers in
The doorkeepers. Okay.
jail.
Yeah. So what's your point?
Every time Lord appears, there are different demons coming in. Then because
Well, they can come from different places, but he comes because they're demons. It's one of the reasons, 3 reasons to annihilate the demons. Are you unconfused now? Research. Go to the authority is my point.
I'm
And
happy you chose this topic. This morning I was thinking about the same thing.
really?
2 Varahas appeared. What did one where it says they appeared from the nose? Now you cleared it. But the one appeared from the nose is different from one who killed.
Yeah. So, and how do we know that? The authority. And our authority don't just pull things out of the sky. it's based upon scripture, and then they have the capacity, the spiritual acumen to understand this subtle point and that subtle point in scripture, and what it indicates. And they can also get just direct revelation, so which we don't have access to. So we're dependent upon authority, but that's nice. And fortunately for us, those Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami authorities, they wrote abundantly. You'll be busy till you wear out. You become familiar with the things that they're revealing. So go to the authority. Don't just puzzle, scratch your head. You never understand that way, as you know. But there's a direction to go in. Being inquisitive and wanting to know, that's good. Going to the authority is better than good. And if you supposing you go to the authority and it's still not clear, be patient and continue. It'll become revealed. Isn't that good news? We have authorities that we can go to, and they're prolific. Here's one, just because there's nobody raising their hand. Do you know who Shamasundar is in Houston, Texas? You know where Houston is? There's a temple in Houston.
I studied
You studied there? Which school?
University of Houston.
University of Houston. No kidding. You should come to our little gather. We're going to have a university gathering for all the universities that have clubs in Texas, in Houston. Come and join us. And so Shamasundar, because one of the things he likes to do is he likes to chant. And he has a little japa, Zoom link or something. And just this past Saturday, and once a month, he's going to have a 64-round Saturday, and 50 people chanted 64 rounds. He had, he was sending me text messages. At 3 o'clock in the morning, there were 50 people, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, there were 70 people, and 50 people. So anyway, he sent me another message saying, "I heard, is it true that the hunter who shot Krishna in the foot, right? You know about the hunter that shot Krishna in the foot? That in his previous life, he was Vali. Is it true? He was like, get back. You shot me. I'm going to shoot you. Is it true? No. But how do we know? And we have to go to authority. And fortunately, there's authority that tells us it's not true. And the authority, some research. Madhvacharya explained it was Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni, because of his offense of kicking Krishna in the chest, in his next life he became a hunter. And Krishna knew that in his next life he became a hunter. And he saw him, he didn't take offense, but there was a reaction. Even Krishna didn't take offense. And so he became a hunter. So Krishna wanted to relieve him of the reaction to the offense. So this event happened, according to Madhvacharya, so that after the hunter shot Krishna in the foot, and he realized it was Krishna and not a deer, because he thought it was the face of a deer, his red foot, he came to Krishna and profusely apologized for his shooting him in the foot. And Krishna forgave him and gave him liberation. No, he because he sent him back to the heavenly realm instead of being a hunter. Now, how would we know that? Yeah, we need authorities. Etc. It's a big mystery. I mean, just get. Yeah, I'm spirit, soul, not this body. Let's try to get that one down. And then you'll live your life, and then you start going down that live your life path of I'm spirit, soul, meant to serve Krishna, and then comes a zillion different aspects and features of Krishna. That's what the Bhagavatam is. It's all about Krishna. There's different avatars, but the foundational message of the whole Bhagavatam is Krishna is the source of everything. Iti Changsa Kalapungsa Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. That's it. That's the Bhagavatam. And then different. So if we want to understand Krishna, we go to the Bhagavatam. And there's different. If we want to understand those different, we go to our acharyas. Because they not only understand the Bhagavatam, but things that are other places. Like this example, two Varahas being in one narration. Now, I wouldn't have figured that out. No way. But Rupa Goswami is to the rescue. So we can get unconfused. But we have to become familiar at the feet of Rupa Goswami and his wonderful gifts of his writings, so we can understand these things. This is this, and that's that, and there's distinctions. That's nice. Anyone else? Online, okay.
This question is from Yamuna Jivan Prabhu.
Yeah.
Is there information of the second son of Varahi and Varaha?
There probably is, but I don't know what it is. But likely our acharyas know, but I don't know. I could reference it. Right. How about I give you the assignment? You find out the answer to that question. And you let me know, then I'll let Yamuna Jivana know. Is that okay? All right. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki, Lord Varaha Deva ki, Gaur Premanandi Haribol.